Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for tuning in and watching the Cypress Sports Show, brought to you by Coach's Corner, your go-to spot before and after the game. I'm Jeff Russell here with Marissa Slevcove. Today we were going to welcome Cypress Boys former basketball coach, Tom Gorrell. It'll be great to catch up.
For all those people that watched that went to school in the 90s, Coach Gorrell's our guy.
Coach Gorrell will be here. The Allen Maggies over there, they're already talking about it.
That's right.
We're going to do our best to check in with Marissa. She's out today, but we'll definitely have her Destination Jiu-Jitsu segment, Kruisin with Krebs, as well. Slev, what do we got for our update?
Well, we're finishing up the first round of league play in the Century Conference. The boys basketball team played 2 league games last week. On Tuesday, they lost in double overtime down at Kruisin Lutheran. And then on Friday night, they got their first league win over Foothill, 72-65 at home, in an exciting and well-played game by the Centurions. We head into the second round of league at 1-3 this week with a home game versus La Habra on Tuesday night, and then travel to Canyon on Friday night. Girls basketball team lost both league games last week to Sonora and to Villa Park. The girls are heading to the second round of league at 1-3 also. They play La Habra before the boys on Tuesday night, and then they travel to Yorba Linda on Friday. Boys soccer team got a tie and a win last week in league play. Through the first round of league, the boys are 2-1-1, a half game behind Pacifica, who we play this week on Wednesday, and then the boys travel to El Medina on Friday. Girls soccer team lost their league game last week and had a bye. They're now 0-3-1 in the first round, or through the first round of league. They'll try to improve upon their standing headed into the second round of league with games against Kruisin Lutheran and Canyon this week. Girls water polo team lost to El Dorado 9-6 in their lone league game last week. This week the girls host Sonora and then play in the Garden Grove tournament on Friday and Saturday. The wrestling, boys and girls, finished up their dual league season. The boys struggled in team play, finished 0-4, and the girls dominated league play and won the Crestview League Championship, going 4-0 in the Crestview. They now focus on CIF and league finals over the next few weeks. Also on an individual level, congratulations to Vince Partington, who finished off third place in the 5 counties meet at Fountain Valley this weekend, one of the toughest regular season competitions around. And then finally, cheer and song teams competed last weekend. The cheer team again hit a 0-point deduction routine, and the song team took home a gold medal in pom and jazz. And Coach Russell, this Friday night is the big one for the cheer team, the CIF competition out at MLK High School in Riverside. Friday night, 8:18, not a minute before, not a minute later, 8:18, they compete for a CIF title.
That's great. On a Friday.
On a Friday. It's been on Saturday forever, and now they split it into 2 days. So good thing we are paying attention close to that one, not show up on Saturday.
Man, I tell you, a lot of stuff going on for sure. Good stuff for the most part. But again, that competitiveness of this league.
It's tough. There's no doubt.
It is a tough one. And again, I know our coaches and players make the adjustments needed. And they're competing. I mean, again, you look at the boys basketball team, and every game has been
an overtime loss, a double overtime loss for sure.
Right there. And everyone's playing hard and working hard, and that will translate to success on the fields and the courts at some point, if it has not already. So, all right, well, it's time for our Destination Jiu-Jitsu segment. Kruisin with Krebs. Marissa is not here with us, but we're going to take a look and see what she has for us this week.
It's time for Kruisin with Krebs. What's up, guys? We're back with another episode of Kruisin with Krebs, and this week I'm with Jackson Houston on the boys basketball team. I'm here with
Edie and Abigail.
And they're on varsity cheer. Okay, I'm here with
Alicia.
What's up, guys? I'm here with Coach Combs, and the question is, what is your go-to celebration on the court?
Hey, when I get a good score, I just gotta hit something like this, like.
Our favorite celebration would probably be CHS Let's Fight. CHS Let's Fight. Orange, blue, and white. CHS Let's Fight.
When your quarterback scores a touchdown, what's your go-to cheer?
I don't really have a cheer, but the band director used to play this song called Hey Baby when the game was over and we won, and I love that song.
Our favorite sideline cheer is Go Blue, Go Orange. Let's go Cypress, here we go. Go blue, go orange, here we go.
Hey baby, I wanna know if you be my girl.
Let's go Cypress.
Hey, today we welcome former boys basketball coach here at Cypress, Tom Gorrell, to the program. Thanks for being here, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome back. Old stomping grounds here. A lot of people know you as Coach Gorrell. We know you as like Gorelli, Tommy G, I mean, whatever it is. You have a lot of history here at Cypress, clearly, as a boys basketball coach, but as a teacher as well. Walking on campus, first off, notice anything different? Is it different now than it was before?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of the second gym wasn't here when I was here. A lot of stuff in the parking lot. So, but still feels kind of special to come back. It's where I got my start as a teacher and coach. So it's definitely a special place for me, and mostly feels the same.
Russ, I mean, it's been a long time since Coach Gorrell was our coach, right? Coach Mitchell's been here for 12 years.
Right.
You were the coach before that for 15.
Right.
And then there was a few months of someone else, and then it was Coach Gorrell.
Right. I mean, you coached here from 92 to 97?
Yeah, the 92, 93 year was my first year. I was 25 years old. Got the job, as bad as I was, I just don't think there was anybody else that was qualified. So it was a very good timing for me. The previous coach, Coach Loftus, had left right before the season. So I think most of the qualified people had other jobs. And so I had an opportunity as a 25-year-old. And I think I was very fortunate with the guys that I got to work with at that time.
So looking back, I mean, taking over there, like you said, we'll get to Coach Loftus and some other things as we move on here. You did pretty well when you were here, won 3 league championships, 95, 96, 97. Looking back to your time here, what stands out as like your best part of coaching here at Cypress, like the best moment?
Man, I don't know if there's like one particular moment. I think what I think about is just the camaraderie we had as coaches, as young people. We had a lot of young coaches. Feldy is still here, but Rick Feldman was an assistant coach with football. We had Mark Steiner, Dave Lewis, and we would all get together for lunch, and we had a lot of good people that were really just trying to get started and help each other out, supporting each other. And so that's kind of what stands out from a basketball standpoint. We really struggled. I think very tough conference, very tough league. And then in that third year, we had a bunch of sophomores really when I took over. So we just got a little bit better with each year. And then that third year, with Derek Mitchell was a captain who's now the head coach. We were able to break through, win a league championship, and then the next couple really kind of overachieved. I think had some really good years, but that first group was really important to get that first league championship and kind of set the tone for success. I think that was a really big group.
So tell us about what Derek was like as a player. We see him now coaching his 12th year here at Cypress. When he was a senior, he was one of the league MVPs. So what was it like coaching him for 3 years?
Yeah, he was a great guy to coach, very consistent. I mean, he was a guy that you never had to worry about as far as like, is he going to come to practice and give his best effort every day? So he was prepared. He loved basketball. Him and his parents used to go to other high school games. So he was just a guy who was into it. You could tell at that age. What can you say? You could say this is what he became a coach. I can remember him just competing really hard, playing good defense. I remember his last game that we had with him was a playoff game at Muir, and we lost that game, but he came up to me and said, "Hey, Coach, you have me on this other guy. I want to guard their best player." That's the kind of guy Derek was. So we put him on their best player.
Nice.
he got cooked, but that's probably anybody would have put on that player would have got beat.
I didn't want to ask.
Yeah,
knowing
I was
the,
waiting, but
the
yeah,
history part
yeah,
of that.
I wanted to say that. Yeah.
Well, looking back, you mentioned Coach Selby, hired at the time by. You mentioned Coach Loftus, hired at the time by Coach Selby as well. Two big names in the Cypress community back in that day, and still pretty prominent now. And there's obviously back in the day there was a lot of talk over there at the Allen Maggie's, the Dalton's Cafe over there about your coaching and things like that, and the transfer from Loftus to you. What do you think were those like challenges that you faced in following, Loftus and trying to make sure that you keep, Selby happy as the AD?
Well, I think John Selby was just the greatest AD to work for because he was there to help, and really I didn't know Kevin Loftus before that very well. I'd met him maybe once or twice, and he could not have been more gracious as far as being a supporter and trying to help. So I think that helped. I mean, we had a lot of things overcome. I mean, I'm not underestimating the fact I was 25 years old. I'd coached at Tustin with some really good coaches. I had some ideas on how I wanted to coach, but honestly, it's embarrassing that I was a head coach and some of the things I said, some of the things I did. And, but John Selby, other people were around to help kind of, guide me along and get through some of those rough patches. And so that was really important to have the support that we had as we kind of got through. And there's a lot of other people, just people in the community I can think of that this was kind of a special place even 30 years ago.
Yeah, I know we mentioned just the short-term coach in between you and when I took over.
Yes.
And kind of the same deal. I didn't really have that portion, right? But I started young. I had you to help me kind of go through that process. And looking back, of course, you think of the things you've done and said, and you're like, oh boy, I do it a lot different nowadays. But given that, is there any one thing that you say like, man, if I could go back in time and change this thing, I would change this?
Not really. I mean, I think every experience has been really good. I mean, there's little things I wish I didn't say this or do that or all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, I think all the experiences have been good. But I feel like it's been a journey, just like we talk about it, any team or, you kind of have to learn from everything that you go through.
So, Coach, I got to play for you in 1996. Assistant coach, head coach, when I was in school. And you say you were 25 when you started, but by 1996, your fourth year, you were the LA Times Orange County Coach of the Year. So yeah. You're either a fast learner, had some really good players, or a combination of both. But you, I think, turned the culture around pretty quickly to a winning culture for Cypress basketball. What kind of strategies were used to make that happen?
Well, thank you for that. That's very nice. But I mean, I think we had good talent with Derek Mitchell, Brett Bolton. These guys were really the two real captains that we had for 3 years. So that kind of helped us. And I think that was the toughest one. We had Eric Solheim was a guy on that team. Helped me out with a couple other names, that first group.
You had Kevin Gingras, you had Chad Boberg and Wes Bunn coming up behind them.
Yeah, so Chad was a sophomore, and I think Wes, was he playing in that team, that group too? Yeah, I think Wes was a freshman on that team. So we just had good young talent, and we were able to get better and better. And so that first group, it was tough. We were able to get over the hump. And but I was a learner. I feel like if I was going to give myself credit for one thing is I was working hard at it. I can remember being here before school to shoot free throws and charting all those free throws, and then we'd come back and we would practice, and we played a full 45 games in the summer. So I think we worked really hard at it. I know I was going to clinics. There was a guy named Don.
Was it McLean?
No. Oh man, I'm drawing a blank. But anyway, there was few coaches that really helped out. And
Don Rail?
no, I went to Tennessee to a clinic, and it was like this guy is small college at David Lipscomb.
Lipscomb, yeah.
And Don Meyer. Sorry.
Don Meyer.
So Don Meyer ended up being on ESPN as he kind of had cancer and was dying. He still was coaching kind of all the way through the end, but he was won the ESPY award because of he was just a dedicated guy. But I was really fortunate. I went to his clinic in Tennessee. It was like a week long. It was like intense. He was nice enough to let me stay at his house, and things like that. I think I did work hard at it, but you don't have success in this thing without good players, and I'm humble enough to know that was the biggest thing. Mark was a very good guy as far as just getting better. One of those guys that I think you played freshman level, sophomore level, JV,
Right.
Is that right? All the way up. It just kind of kept growing. You just kept getting better and better, and really had some key play for us to win a league championship in your senior year. So I just think we had a lot of guys like that were really fortunate to have at that time.
You mentioned clinics, and I know that you and I went to a lot of basketball practices as well. You even traveled to Utah, watched Rick Majerus practice, things like that. You're currently, after all these years, coaching at Fullerton JC.
Right.
So a little bit different. You're an assistant now instead of the head coach with Perry Webster. You guys have had unbelievable success. Perry, of course, very hardworking, very good coach as well. What would you say is the difference in coaching high school today versus back in the 90s when you were the head coach?
Well, I mean, I think everybody was going full bore at that time. Like, as you looked around high school, everybody was playing a full summer schedule. And I'm not seeing that as much. I think as I finished my career as a high school head coach at Catella, it was really hard to keep guys going in the summer, keep them going. All the stuff that we did, even in my first couple years at Catella, it just got harder and harder. I don't know how it is here. But I think that's the case a lot of places. And it's really refreshing to be working with Perry, as it's pretty old school. And I don't know if that's the case at every high school, but I'd say that it's really refreshing that really the things that we do, the high expectations and the work that our guys put in at Fullerton College is nothing different than it was 30 years ago, really. It's really nothing.
What are you guys looking for in high school players that come play at Fullerton College? What are some key ingredients when you're trying to build your team at Fullerton?
Yeah, thanks. I think we're looking for obviously super talented guys that can, like everybody else is, but I think Perry is really good about also looking for, the type of players that can make their teammates better. And, it's not for everybody. So we have one of our key players this year is Justin Davis, who was a player at Capistrano Valley High School. Never scored very much in high school, but he's just a team guy, plays great defense. So you have to have the talent, but you also it's pretty high level of dedication, and you have to be able to be a team guy. There's no doubt about that. And so we're very fortunate to have been able to do that. I think as we have been there at Fullerton and we're graduating everybody, we're getting everybody through with AA degrees, and then they're getting to NAIA Division II or Division I scholarships. So it's become easier and easier to be selective and pick really the better, not only talented, but then also be pretty selective about do they have the teamwork and the dedication that we're looking for.
Right, it's one thing to be talented, but it's to be talented and have character to develop winners. And you guys have been winning a lot.
Yeah. So it's been we've been very fortunate to, in the rearview mirror there, I've been with Perry now for 10 years. This is ninth season. We had one out with COVID, and the success is pretty much amazing. And you look at it in the rearview mirror, you'd say, well, that was really easy. Look at all those wins. But it's not. He wins a lot of the games because he's there working harder than anybody else in the summer, getting people in, making sure they're getting their paperwork done for FAFSA. So if you look at it, just there's been week to week. I mean, last week we were able to beat Cypress College down the street. They have a real good team, but it's a battle every night, and you know, we've been fortunate to have the guys that go to war every night with us, and it's been a fun journey.
Sure. Doing this for a while now, maybe getting towards the end of your career. I don't know. What?
I don't know. What do you say?
What? Yeah, take a little walk. What are we looking forward for the future? Like, if you stop coaching or stop teaching by some chance, what's our future plans? Like, what are we going to be doing? Where are we hanging out? Alan Maggie's over here. What do we got?
Well, you got my number.
Okay.
Yeah. So no, I'm looking. I turned in my paperwork. I'm going to officially retire, so that's a done deal. I'll be retiring at the end of the school year from my teaching job. But there's a lot of interest. I'm really excited about what's going on. I have interest in real estate investing. I love following the stock market and following investments that we've made. I really hope that Perry's continues to stay at Fullerton. It's right down the street from my house, so I love helping out there. I'll be able to be more involved with practice. Like today, they don't go to school the whole month of January pretty much, so I have to miss a lot of practices. So I'm looking forward to just being more involved in that and traveling like in the off seasons, a little bit like in October and April, May when the crowds are not as heavy. So we'll do some traveling and stuff like that. So,
Nice. Congrats on that.
yeah, thank you.
Well, we're at the point of the show. We do some fast action questions. Don't overthink them. Whatever comes to your mind. You ready?
Oh boy. Okay.
Best part about playing Ron Burgundy on all these newscasts when you're at school, Catella High, and all that.
Just laughing, just being a clown like I am. So I just that'd be the best part.
Can you give us a little Ron Burgundy here?
Oh man.
That's a tough one.
That's a tough one. No prep on that. Jeez.
No prep.
Oh, man. Well, I think Ron Burgundy would say that he would say, what would he say? I can't even think
of something
it.
about
San Diego.
We'll come back.
Cut. Yeah.
Come back. Longest road trip you had while coaching in Cypress, do you remember?
The longest road trip.
I can remember. I can remember what movie we watched on that trip.
I can remember one too. I don't know. I just didn't know if that was the longest.
Oof. Yeah, I think that one to Palm Springs probably. That's what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
So we'll say the Palm Springs playoff game where we had about 25 traveling calls. And
we don't talk about the results of the game, just how far.
Jeez, that was a tough loss.
Favorite team to play and beat when you were at Cypress? Who did you love to play and win?
Man. Well, we loved beating Pacifica, of course. That was down the street. We loved beating Kennedy. They had a guy who was a really great classic coach at that time, John Mayberry. So that was always a fun one. So I'm going to kind of go there. The two local ones were the most. Great battles with Catella with the legendary Tom Danley, and he was in the league. So we had some. I think we lost the first 5 or 6 times we ever played Catella, and then we kind of turned the tables and got the win. So those were fun.
Favorite restaurant while you were coaching here in Cypress?
Favorite restaurant? The Villa Maria's, of course.
Oh,
yeah,
Villa Maria's.
Yes, of course.
What was I couldn't think of it. I was going over this. What was the Italian place we had right over here? We had a couple team meals at.
Lomelli's.
Lomelli's.
Oh, yeah. We were there all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
What do you have more fun at? Head coach or assistant coach?
That's an easy one. Assistant coaching is the way to go.
Easy as
Yeah,
deal, right?
you get to coach. You don't have to deal with any of the responsibilities that a head coach has to deal with. So I love it.
Do you remember the crowd, the student section here at Cypress when you were coaching?
Yeah, that was the morgue. They grew quite big in the last couple of years, so that was a lot of fun.
Do you think you had a home court advantage at that point with them?
I felt like it. They were into it, we did pretty well, so I think it helped.
Now, the other night, on Friday night, we had Coach Slevcove organized with a couple other guys a little get-together of former players, and I attended that as well. And there was a little talk about the morgue and different things, and you had a chance to stop by. How was that, seeing those guys?
No, it was great. It was great to see, everybody, especially Derek. I don't get a chance with our season schedules and everything. I don't get a chance to come to many games, but it was good to see everybody. And some of them were ex-players, some of them were
Ex-fans.
Morgies. Yeah, it was good to see everybody, and great to see so many people doing well too. I mean, it was at Coach Slevcove's house right down the street here, and that's what's it's like a family here. Even though it's been 30 years really since I started, that's what I think. I think about all the things we've gone through. I think about Mark's dad, Bill Slevcove, was at the games. I remember your mom used to come to the games. My mom was involved. All of them were gone, but we went through those experiences together, and that's part of this experience. So it's a pretty cool place.
Yeah, it really is. Seeing those guys, Jack Neely, Moody, Greg Cleve, Patrick Murphy. Who else do we have there?
Randy Stabiglia, Juan
Randy.
Soto.
I mean, Brian
Brian
Cottrell was
Cottrell.
there. I mean, a lot of
Darren
people.
White. Solheim couldn't make it next time.
Gately.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're missing somebody, but it was really fun seeing those guys. Like you said, that small town. We've talked about all the time here. That small town feel. It's really nice to come back. Toughest place you ever coached when you were in high school?
Toughest place to play?
Yeah, coach.
I'm going to just say at that time it was Los Al because they were good. I don't think we won over there. I think you had some teams that beat them, but they were really good. Steve Brooks was the coach, and they just had a really good talent and had it rolling. So I think that was a tough place to go win, and we had some tough losses there. So that stands out as a frustrating, place for me to go.
Yeah, I always think Orange High School when Ringo was there and stuff. That was just.
We won that game, though.
I know,
We won that
but
game.
that
was a small gym. It was loud.
tough place to play.
Yeah.
Loud, and his teams were good.
It was a great win.
Memories, yeah.
Great win.
Great win.
Now
Good steal.
You mentioned this earlier, hanging out at lunchtime, Coach Selby. We used to hang out in the football office. The soda machine, what was the soda that you'd make? You had that soda machine. Do you remember that? You could make your own soda back in the day. Did you make any sodas? Did you make any good drinks?
No, I think I was a Diet Coke guy.
That's it?
Pretty bland, yeah. I don't think there's really anything
No
stored there.
suicides or anything?
No, but I do remember the machine. That was pretty cool.
Did you have the Chicago Bears Cypress cup? Everybody had the Chicago Bears cup. Coach Selby, again, you had your little. They printed out your name on it.
I think I did. Yeah.
You had to. You don't
Yeah, I
remember
had
that? Sorry,
No.
Coach Selby. It's getting older. More fun. The team dinners at like Lomelli's or the team breakfasts where we had the pancakes and all that stuff.
I don't think I went to too many of the breakfasts, so I'm going to go with the team dinners.
Team dinners.
Yeah.
All right, team meals.
Hey, that one. I mean, most of those team breakfasts were over at the Boberg house,
Boberg
right?
house,
I mean,
yeah.
what a great family that was. Talk about all the blessings I had. I mean, not only the great player that Chad was, but great guy to coach, and then both parents just really supportive, really, really great parents. So it's really great to have them.
It's like his daughter's shooting the lights out down in San Juan Hills.
Oh,
too.
man,
She's
big
putting up
time.
the points.
She
So
is.
Boberg and Weaver together.
Yeah.
They
look
like
out.
to shoot.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Well, Coach-
Sage, how about Sage? He was good. Denny Sage.
Smartest guy in the room. Matt
Probably.
Sage.
Yep.
I had a good story with we were mad at him one time. I was yelling at him and said, "Hey, if anybody can't take the running," and we ran a couple lines, you can't take the running, you could just walk out the gym. And Matt Sage says, "Okay, yeah, that's me. I've had enough." I said, "Get back on the line, Sage. You can't. I'm not saying you can leave. That's just coach talk. I shouldn't have never said that." He said, "Yeah, I'll take the deal."
See you later. Oh, man. Too funny. Well, Coach, you talk about the support, and I think Cypress people would say you're a very supportive guy. You've been a part of our lives for a long time. Super supportive of everything. Congratulations on the retirement. We're excited for you. We're
Thank you.
glad that you were able to make it here today, so appreciate that. Thank you again.
All right, thank you.
All right, well, hey,
Hey, let's get some wins here. We got a big one tonight, La Habra, right?
Big one tonight.
Hey.
Are you coming?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to come back. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Girls play before.
Okay.
It's a big night.
All right. Let's get it.
All right.
A lot of good games. It's Crestview League now, right?
Crestview League,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think he's itching to wrap it up.
No,
I'm
you're
sorry.
good. Keep it going.
Crestview. No, go ahead.
Crestview, very difficult.
Is this his Ron Burgundy impression
not
now?
wrong.
It doesn't end it?
It doesn't end. Huh? Keep it going. What do you think? Take a little walk? A little happy hour? What do you think? Huh?
Dave Shoemaker.
Conrad
That's a classic.
as well? Yeah,
Yes.
what do you think?
Yeah.
A lot of inside jokes
Oh, yeah. Coach Conrad, Coach Cabby.
I think
Man.
Ron would say it really has been a pleasure for you guys because I'm sort of a big deal, right? That's kind of sort of a big deal around here. So
Perfect.
okay,
And on that,
all right.
we're going to say thanks to Tom Gorrell for being here today. Thanks again to our sponsors, Coach's Corner, for all their support. Make sure you get out and support those guys as well. And thanks again for watching. See you guys next week.